happened in July of 1969?
Man made it to the moon.
Man made it to the moon, yeah. And so here's what I saw when I was 14 years old. They brought us all together in this big field and they set up sheets to be a projection screen. And we were able to watch Neil Armstrong walking around on the moon. So there I am in northern Idaho. The moon's coming up. I'm looking over my shoulder at the moon coming over the hill and watching an American astronaut on the face of the moon. That was just amazing to me. And from that point, that helped me figure out what I wanted to do when I grew up. Okay? And part of that was working with rockets. I want to tell you about a friend of mine named Gail Halvorsen. He grew up in Utah. When he was a kid, he lived in a small rural town, not too different from Ephrain and Manti. After World War II, there was some divisions in Europe where the east part of Europe was controlled by the Soviet Union, which we now know as Russia, and the west part was controlled by United States, Britain, and France. Okay? And so Berlin, the capital city of Germany, was divided that way also. Berlin sits inside of what was then East Germany, so it was very easy for the Russians to cut off their food, which they did. So the United States and its friends decided we can't leave the Germans behind, the people in Berlin, so we're going to fly food to them and coal and other things. Gail Halvorsen met a bunch of kids who were watching the airplanes come in and leave. They went over and talked to them. Some of them spoke English very well because they learned that in school. How many of you are learning a new language in school?
Well, I'm starting to.
Starting to? Okay. Gail Halvorsen was impressed by these kids because they said, don't give up on us. We can go hungry for a little while, but if we lose our freedom, we'll never get it back. So he decided he was going to do something special for these kids. And what he did was, he got candy from his friends, okay? Every day in the Air Force, it's kind of nice. You'd get issued candy bars. That's kind of cool. So what he did was he got a bunch of candy bars together, used some handkerchiefs to make parachutes, and dropped candy to the kids in West Berlin. Gave them a special treat to help them know that somebody remembered them. That's where we get the term, the Berlin Candy Bar. Now, after the Berlin airlift was over, the Air Force said to Gail, you need to go to college, get a college degree. So they gave him some money and some time and sent him off to school. And he studied aeronautical engineering. He finished up his bachelor's degree in 2 years, came back to the Air Force and said, I got my bachelor's degree, put me to work. And he said, you're not supposed to return for another 2 years. Oh. What should I do? Well, go back to school. So he got a master's in aeronautical engineering, specializing in rocket science. Okay, so Gail got to work on some projects early on, and he made rockets. Okay, that first rocket's called Atlas. The Atlas was the rocket that took the Mercury capsule, the first guys from the United States to get into space. That was the first rocket that he helped work on. He then was put on the Titan program. The Titan then was selected to be the rocket that took the Gemini program into space. So the take-home lesson here is dream big dreams. If a boy from Garland, Utah can help put a man on the moon, what can a boy or a girl do from the Sanpete area in the future?
We are Halvorsen Foundation, and we are STEM.